1 a.m. and the thing just appeared. Gross. Another time, I was just chilling in bed on my phone, and I looked to the right, and this big spider was just sitting on my pillow, chilling like he owned the place. Guy doesn't even pay rent. What does he think gives him the right to sit on my pillow and invade my personal space? Buy me dinner first. Jesus Christ. Just a couple nights ago, I was up late talking to a friend of mine, and 2 big old mosquitoes somehow got into my room, even though I have a screen on my window and the door was closed. It was probably like 3 a.m. and I was up trying to hunt these bugs down because every time I laid down, I'd hear the little buzz in my ear. I wandered around the room with a flip-flop for about 30 minutes trying to find it, and I couldn't find it, so eventually I gave up. To this day, I still think the thing is feeding on me and giving me malaria. Speaking of mosquitoes, what is their purpose?
Thanks to that awesome animation by YouTuber Spechie, we hope that you understand what we're talking about. Bugs. Bugs. Yes, they're gross. We can't stand them, and they're always around bugging us. Every pun intended. However, did you know that they could potentially impact our health? As you're all well aware, we just completed our presentations over our semester projects regarding various aspects of climate change. We all did some amazing projects, from looking at common illnesses on campus to the effects of caffeinated beverages on campus. Pretty cool stuff, and an amazing job to you all. However, Team 13 decided to take a different path and look at some insects. Team 13, consisting of Natalie Foster, Elizabeth Grimes, Christian Singleton, and Peyton Williams, decided to look at climate and its effects on mosquito populations in Bloomington, Indiana. Our research question is simple. It states, how does rainfall and temperature influence mosquito populations? Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, how is this question relevant? Why do you guys care about insects so much? Well, let us show you. Our project is relevant to you all because it could potentially display the prevalence of mosquito-carried viruses in humans. No one wants to get sick, right? Plus, our project sheds light on how diseases travel, as well as other forms you may not think about daily. Here's a small video from PBS that explains the health dangers of mosquitoes.
This is the deadliest animal in the world. Mosquitoes kill hundreds of thousands of people each year. The most vulnerable people, children, pregnant women. No other bite kills more humans or makes more of us sick. So what makes a mosquito's bite so effective? For starters, they're motivated. Only females bite us. They need blood to make eggs. And a pool of water for their babies to hatch in. Even a piece of trash can hold enough. Mosquito's head under a microscope, you can see what that sheath protects. And inside there are 6 needles. 2 of them have tiny teeth. She uses those to saw through the skin. They're so sharp, you can barely feel her pushing. These other 2 needles hold the tissues apart while she works. From under the skin, you can see her probing, looking for a blood vessel. Receptors on the tip of one of her other needles pick up on chemicals that our blood vessels exude naturally and guide her to it. Then she uses this same needle like a straw. As her gut fills up, she separates water from the blood and squeezes it out. See that drop? That frees up space to stuff herself with more nutritious red blood cells. With another needle, she spits chemicals into us. They get our blood flowing more easily and give us itchy welts afterwards. And sometimes, before she pries herself away, she leaves a parting gift in her saliva. A virus or a parasite that can sicken or kill us. There's nothing in it for her. The viruses and parasites are just hitching a ride. But this is what makes mortal enemies out of us and mosquitoes. They take our blood. Sometimes we take theirs. But often not soon enough. Good, you're still there. These are the larvae of Culex pipiens, aka the common house mosquito here in California. Gross, right? Well, you can avoid them by emptying your rain gutters, pet water dishes too. While you're at it, subscribe. We have so many more science videos coming your way. See you next time.
Based upon prior research, a link was found between mosquitoes, viruses, and water sources. Mosquitoes tend to lay eggs in standing water and also prefer humid weather. Outbreaks of viruses distributed by mosquitoes directly correlate with periods of high rainfall. Weather patterns affect not only mosquito breeding, but how likely they are to interact with humans and spread viruses. A model showed that mosquitoes lived longer and were more likely to become infected under moderate temperature fluctuations. This is significant because Indiana is well known for its fluctuating temperatures. Mosquitoes tend to prefer hotter weather as late summers and fall rain cause mosquito season to extend. As such, mosquitoes are most prevalent in the summer in Bloomington, Indiana. Due to the fact that anthropogenic climate change caused by pollution has increased temperatures globally over the past 200 plus years, humans can be blamed for longer periods of mosquito activity and, by extension, an increase in outbreaks of viruses carried by mosquitoes. If we can determine how temperature and rainfall affect mosquitoes in Bloomington, we can predict how many people are at risk for mosquitoes. This is at a prime time in human history as climate change continually seems to have a negative effect on human health. It is important to understand the link between climate change, our actions, and the potential consequences to public health. Mosquitoes are a direct cause of positive and negative ecological impact in the community of Bloomington and around the world, making them an ideal subject to assess the effects of climate change. Based upon our prior research, we created the following hypotheses. First, we have the null hypothesis, which states, rainfall and temperature have no correlation with the incidence of mosquitoes in Bloomington, Indiana. Then, we have the alternative hypothesis, which states, rainfall and temperature have a positive correlation with the incidence of mosquitoes in Bloomington, Indiana. The materials that we needed for our research project were a Kestrel climate station device, pH reader, note-taking materials such as a notebook or mobile device, and water. Temperature, pH, and humidity data were collected for the following on-campus locations: a stream near Showalter Fountain, a body of water underneath the President's House, and a river in Dunn Meadow. Counts were taken on how many mosquitoes were seen. Then, temperature, pH, and humidity were also collected for the following off-campus locations: Lake Monroe and Lake Griffey. Again, counts were taken on how many mosquitoes were seen. All of our data was entered into a Microsoft Excel sheet for future analysis. As far as our data analysis goes, we decided to use descriptive statistics and regression analysis. This is because these techniques would provide us a holistic outlook on all of our data while taking everything into account. Plus, these were key correlational tests that could test all variables and scenarios for comparison, as there was no other standard way to tie all of our data together. After compiling all of our data, we were able to generate descriptive statistics for the following on-campus locations: the following off-campus locations. So, you're probably asking yourself, what do all of these numbers mean? What's the true purpose? Well, you're in luck because we were able to come up with 4 discoveries. First, mosquitoes were mostly sighted at locations where there was a pH of between 8.3 and 8.4. For the most part, for our research, a higher pH showed that there was a higher mosquito count. Second, mosquitoes tended to prefer off-campus locations as there are less people and there is more room for reproduction. After reviewing all of our data, we found no correlation between increased rainfall, temperature, and mosquitoes. Limitations may have impacted our data, such as the life cycles of the mosquitoes themselves, only collecting data during the month of October, and nulling one of our off-campus locations due to safety concerns. However, our research is key in understanding the anthropogenic climate change, as it shows how the negative impacts that climate change can cause will also have an effect on our human health. Further research to go along with our experiment could explore the migration of mosquitoes and how the warming caused by greenhouse gases has allowed them to thrive in otherwise frigid areas. We hope that you have enjoyed learning about climate and its effects on mosquitoes. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you!